Formerly, this snake would have been known as a Hopi rattlesnake. With this snake, I now have 3 snakes left to see within Colorado's borders until I have seen everything that exists here. But for a smooth green snake, that is really, really large, which is awesome to see them get in this size. Hello everybody, today Hunter and I are in southwestern Colorado, about as far south as you can go until you get into Arizona. Today we are out here looking for some species that are only located in this part of Colorado. It's going to be a really good time if we start seeing snakes. It's right about 7 o'clock, sun goes down sometime between 8 and 9, so right now we're in the middle of town, there's no snakes here. But we're going to fill up on gas, get to the road that we're going to be hitting tonight, and start turning snakes up soon. I should say, start turning snakes up soon may not be accurate. It may be a little while, but we're going to figure it out. I think Hunter just got done with the gas, so we're going to start driving to the spot, and hopefully we start seeing some snakes soon. Hunter and I, unfortunately, had to pull over in front of these poor people's houses, but first snake of the night, wandering garter snake, starting out with the most common snake in the state. Not a bad thing, but the sun is going down as we speak, so we're going to keep on moving. Not going to take too long to talk about this beautiful guy, but just going to release him and keep on our way. Alrighty, next snake of the night here is a Great Basin Gopher snake. These guys are really closely related to the bull snakes that we have on the other side of the Continental Divide, but these guys belong in the Great Basin region here on the west slope. Absolutely beautiful snake. Hunter and I are really happy to be seeing at least a couple snakes tonight because this area tends to die off pretty soon. We are just going to release this guy here so that we can keep on moving down this road. Alright, well, probably an hour and a half or so later, here's our, this is actually the 3rd snake of the night, but we lost the 2nd one. This is a prairie rattlesnake. Formerly, this snake would have been known as a Hopi rattlesnake. The difference between the two being that Hopis, or former Hopis, were a lot smaller than regular prairie rattlesnakes. And also, they have this really great coloration to them. But they've since been reclassified. This is just prairie rattlesnake now. Either way, absolute stunning snake. I mean, that thing is just absolutely beautiful. Being pretty good for us, staying pretty calm. So we're gonna respect it, give it its space, and keep on moving. I think Hunter's gonna want to photograph this snake. We've stopped probably twice in the last minute of driving or so, which is always good for road cruising. That's kind of what you want. But this snake, super cool to see. Kind of wanted to see one of these while we were down here anyway, so awesome stuff. We are going to photograph this snake and keep on moving, but man, that is just a super handsome prairie rattlesnake. And he's being pretty docile, something that, especially with prairie rattlesnakes, you don't always get to see. Still wouldn't want to mess with it, but absolutely stunning and super cooperative snake. Good morning, everybody. That right there is Utah. We are that close to Utah right now. Today, we're going to be surveying this habitat here, looking for desert spiny lizards, among other things. There's also some leopard lizards here, which would be really cool to see. It's going to be too hot today to find any snakes until later, but Hunter and I are just going to be spending the next few hours working through all of this stuff here, looking for some lizards that I've never seen before. Hunter's seen them all, but I've never seen them before. So we're going to go back in there, hopefully be taking some photos, and then after that we're going to go back to the hotel room and get a few hours of rest. Hunter and I slept in the car last night, which was rough. So yeah, we're gonna hit this pretty hard, be back to the hotel around 1, and the idea is to be back on this road tonight, to be cruising for snakes and hopefully find some California king snakes. So without further ado, Hunter and I are going to make our way back into all this stuff and hopefully start turning up some lizards. Alright, well, we're about 50 feet away from the car now, and here's a little side blotched lizard. Oh. Alright, there was a little side blotched lizard, literally 50 feet away from there, and we've got another side blotched lizard. These guys are super common here, especially in this specific little microhabitat, so expect a lot of these today. Alright, next lizard of the day is neatly tucked up in here. It's a desert spiny lizard, which is impossible to see without screwing up the lighting, which we already have, so we're just going to leave it be. We got some shots. That is either my lifer or my first in state. I'm not sure which one, but pretty cool. These guys barely come into Colorado, so it's always good to see them. They're not exactly easy here either, so pretty good find. We're gonna keep on moving up through this habitat here and hopefully turn up some more. Next lizard of the day here. There's another Tristicus here. These guys are gonna be real common today, but this big girl is just enjoying the shade cast by this sagebrush bush. Hanging out. It is super hot and super dry here, so it's not really unusual that we're not seeing a ton of stuff today. But this beautiful girl makes 2 of these. I don't know if I got video of the last one, but here's another one. These guys are pretty cool, pretty drab. The males will be a little brighter and have a characteristic blue belly that allows you to tell them apart, but it's pretty cool. Alright, here's the next lizard of the day. This is yet another Tristicus, plateau fence lizard. There was also a Magister, which is a desert spiny lizard that was hanging out right here, but I was trying to videotape it and it went down into the uncharted depths down there. But here's a Tristicus that's being like really good about photography. That's awesome. Either way, Hunter and I have seen just about everything that we could see here, so we're gonna start moving to another microhabitat shortly to look for some other lizards. Alright, well, there's 2 more lizards here on the day. Right here is yet another plateau fence lizard, and over here is presumably its mate. They're just hanging out on this little sandy bluff thing here. Pretty cool. Hunter actually spotted this one, who's a little more handsome. Hunter spotted that one there, and then I looked over, and sure enough, 2 Tristicus hanging out. Some beautiful habitat here. If it was a little cooler and a little more, or a little less dry, I suppose this would be one of the best places to be. But absolutely awesome. They're letting us get really close too, which is really cool. Alrighty, so after a pretty dismal rest of the day looking for lizards, Hunter and I went back to the hotel. We literally did not sleep until like 2 o'clock last night, and it was in my car in the seats, so a little bit of sleep was necessary. Once again, our big 2 targets for the day: California king snake. This is one of the only places in the state of Colorado where you can find them, and a painted desert glossy snake. Same deal with them. This is the only place you can find them, and they're not exactly common, so we're hoping to see those tonight. Otherwise, prairie rattlesnakes, Great Basin Gopher snakes. So we're going to start cruising here shortly and hopefully turn up some snakes. Okay, so it has been a couple hours since you last saw me, and here is our first snake of the night. With this snake, I now have 3 snakes left to see within Colorado's borders until I have seen everything that exists here. This is a painted desert glossy snake. These guys literally only exist in a very small pocket here. They're probably not too rare, but it is really far from almost everything else that we've herped, and not many people come out here, so they're not often encountered, but beautiful snakes. These guys are the same species as the glossy snakes we see in southeastern Colorado, but they are a different subspecies. Absolutely beautiful snake though, and check out the patterning towards the tail. It gets real cool down there. Just a stunning snake. I've often lamented about how much I hate shooting glossy snakes, and this one was amazing. So overall, just a wonderful snake. Beautiful patterning. Just like the colors on this are not even like, I can't comprehend what these colors are on this snake. They're just, he's so cool. Like, I mean, it is a glossy snake. These guys are pretty common, and oh, we've got company. Who? Anyways, these snakes, just absolutely wonderful example of this species. I'm happy to see it. We're gonna take some more photos and go on our way. Shouts out to the lovely ladies who stopped to make sure we were all right. Anyways, what a snake that is. That is just such a beautiful example of a cool snake. There you can really see on that tail there. The patterning is so neat. These guys are awesome. I'm really happy we found this. So we're going to take a little bit of time to properly enjoy this snake, and then we're going to keep on moving and turn up some more. Alrighty, we're going to release this snake real quick. Back on its way. See you later, buddy. So right over there is where Hunter and I were photographing the glossy snake. We pulled 50 feet up the road, and here's yet another little prairie/Hopi rattlesnake who is doing like a weird sidewinding motion across the road.
For perspective, check this out. Look how big that rattle is.
Yeah, that is a good point Hunter brings up. I mean, this snake back home, this same age, would probably be, I mean, just look at the size of that rattle. He's not a small snake for this subspecies or this former sub, but for your average rattlesnake, he is pretty little. Hunter brings up a good point there. All right, so as I was saying, Hunter brings up a good point with this guy, that being a snake of this size back home would have a rattle of maybe 1 or 2 buttons. If you look at the rattle on this guy, he's probably got, I don't know, 4, somewhere between 3 and 5. It's hard to count with him moving and all. But that just really goes to show you how small these snakes are. He's probably only about 1 foot long. Stunning, stunning snake. Probably some of the better prairie rattlesnakes I've ever seen out here. But it is cool that these guys just stay so much smaller than the prairie rattlesnakes that we get back in Denver, which, by the way, stay smaller than the ones they get in a lot of other places. So this is a really cool population of this snake. Always cool to see these guys. But we do have some king snakes to find, so we're going to escort this guy off the road and keep on moving. Good morning, everybody. Last night we didn't end up seeing anything else, but today we are in the beautiful San Juan Mountains in southern Colorado. As part of Co-Park, which is the Colorado Partnership in Amphibian and Reptile Conservation. There's the co-chair right there. I'm on the steering committee, but that guy has got us some land access here. A conservation group requested that we come here and do like a herp survey here. This area has never properly been herp surveyed. So today we're going to be spending some time out here just taking a tally of what's here, hopefully finding some new species, but if not, seeing some ones that neither Hunter or I have seen in a while. Right now Hunter's up here chasing around some whiptails. I'm about to go do the same because I've not got photos of these ones. But we're going to keep moving through this awesome habitat. It's absolutely gorgeous through here, just like mountain meadows and a lot of scrub oak stuff in the high Rockies here. So we're going to be spending the day here, and then later we're going to move back down to the roads we were on last night to hopefully find some of those king snakes that we're here for. Here is our first snake of the day. This is a smooth green snake. These are starting to become a pretty familiar face on the channel. We saw a bunch of these last year. Saw a few of these a couple weeks ago in South Dakota. Now here's another one. As always, these guys are just incredibly beautiful. I don't think I can sell you on that enough. These guys are just stunning, stunning snakes. One of my favorites in the state, to be honest, and my first one west of the Continental Divide. I mean, they're probably more common in this area than anywhere where we've looked for them, but it is cool to, you know, add a new area to my personal tally. Hunter found it just cruising through this grass here. It's absolutely perfect riparian habitat here. And sure enough, we were actually here looking for shorthorn lizards and sagebrush lizards, which may or may not be inhabiting these riparian corridors. But we got this little guy instead, which I will take in stride every single time. These guys are absolutely awesome. But we are just going to end up releasing this guy right where he was found. We may end up seeing another 1 or 2 of these guys. But if not, we are going to start heading back towards the hotel room now to prepare for an evening of road cruising. Alright, first of the next 2 snakes of the day is a wandering garter snake. This is a pretty handsome one, actually. Usually they're a lot more drab than this. He's got some cool stuff going on. Also, a plain belly on him, which you don't always see. It's pretty interesting. There might be a little bit of a regional variation with that belly pattern there. These guys are real cool, although they are super duper common. It's just nice seeing them in this real dense riparian habitat here. But yeah, these guys are kind of icons of this this area and this state, so it's cool to see them here. I'm gonna go grab our next find and we'll look at that now. Alright, as my allergies continue to get worse and worse through all this crap back here, here's our next snake of the day, which is a gargantuan smooth green snake. This is definitely the longest I've seen by a fair margin. Probably somewhere between 1.5 feet and 2 feet of this snake. Awesome to see these guys get this big. I always talk about one in particular that Carson and I found a long time ago that was just absolutely massive, and this one rivals that one. As soon as we found that first individual, my first thought was that they were going to be loaded through here, and this one we found, I don't know, maybe 2-3 minutes after we released the first, so awesome stuff. I'm going to get Hunter to hold this for us just so we can model how giant this thing is, and we're going to let it go and then head back to the hotel to prep for a night of road cruising. Alright, well here's hand model Hunter holding this giant smooth green snake. I mean, that thing, these guys stay pretty little. For most snakes that wouldn't be very big, but for a smooth green snake that is really, really large, which is awesome to see them getting this size. There's definitely tons of little insects and stuff back in here for them to eat. But we're just going to turn this snake loose right here where we found it and then keep on moving. First snake of the night is a handsome Great Basin Gopher snake here. We literally just arrived at our road, I don't know, maybe 15-20 minutes ago. As you can see, I did not think it was a gopher snake, because that is what you call a king snake, Mark. But either way, these guys are one of the most commonly encountered snakes of the trip. Pretty typical of the West Slope. These guys are pretty abundant here. But we're going to release it after a few real quick shots and keep moving, because the weather feels great right now. It's going to be a little cooler out here than the last couple of nights, which can be good for road cruising. Whoever is doing this, take care of your public lands. All right, buddy, see you later. Have a good night. Hope you catch a lot of rats. All right, so Hunter and I spent our last morning in southwest Colorado fruitlessly hiking for horned lizards in some habitat here in the San Juan Mountains. We were actually headed back to the car to head back to the house. I heard something skittering through the grass, and this beautiful man showed up. Yet another smooth green snake. This is our third in the last 24 hours. Just here in this riparian habitat here, there's a little creek back there. This is absolutely perfect habitat for these guys, so it's no shock to see them, but it's always a pleasure to see these beautiful guys. I think this is going to be the end for this section of the video. I will see you in a couple days.